I've been asked to talk about the new procurement process that Imsa needs to go through in order to obtain the supplies and services we need to make Imsa run. And the way I presented it to the faculty members that I represent was like this. See this? This is last year's procurement. Everybody knows what this is, at least the OCs do. This is the book with the codes that tells me what budget number is used for purchases. Certain things that are purchase books come out of, for example, 1398 or 1308. Faculty travel for conferences comes out of the 1290s. All of that's in here. Add to that this year's procurement information. Okay? What we used to do in the past is we would have vendors who would submit to us a W-9 form, which is an IRS form, simply registering them with the government, and we could do business with them. We could contract with them and say, hey, we need 12 copies of Hamlet, or we need 36 pencils. Please send us 3 dozen pencils. We would write out a purchase order to a vendor who was in our system. They would send us the goods and the invoice, and we would proceed to pay them through the state of Illinois. It's not so easy anymore. We now have to go through several sources. We have to start by looking through state contracts. Now, state contracts are contracts that are drafted between the state of Illinois and particular vendors. This is the list of state contracts. It's got about, 15 pages, and they all have these T codes on them. So if we need, for example, the 3 dozen pencils, or we need those 10 copies of Hamlet, I have to start by looking at the master contracts. If we have a contract with Office Depot, then I cannot buy my pencils from any place other than Office Depot. So I have to look through here and say, okay, is there an Office Depot? Okay, fine, I need to buy my pencils from Office Depot. If I'm looking for something, say, the National German tests, which the German students take as their final first semester, we don't have a contract with the American Association of Teachers of German. Okay, they're a select group, they write the test, it's the only place you can get the test. However, last year I could contact the American Association of German Teachers and say, hey guys, I need some tests. How much? Send them to me, send the bill, I'll send you the money, honey. Now, I have to look here, even though I know it's not on here. I have to look and say, gee, I wonder, okay, application for vehicle title, that doesn't sound like a National German test. Assays, SYVA, that doesn't sound like a National German test. Nevertheless, what I have to do is go on the computer, find the state list of master contracts, and do a search. Okay? Now, what I have to prove is not what I find, because I'm not going to find it in here. I have to prove what I don't find. I have to do due diligence and prove that I looked for National German tests in this list of master contracts, even though I know it's not there. So I type in the word National German tests, and of course it goes results 0. Can't find anything. I have to print that screen, save it to a PowerPoint to document the fact that I looked. Okay, that's step 1. Now I have to go to the Illinois Correctional Industries, in other words, the prison system. Our prisoners make certain commodities. They actually bake cookies. They make uniforms. They make sweats. So for example, if Mr. Dunmire wants to buy sweatsuits, he can get them in white or gray, and he can get them from the prisoners, okay? So I'm looking through my list of prisons, which I only have online, I don't have a paper to show you. But you look through there and think, I wonder if they speak German at the Illinois State Correctional Institutes. And they might, but they do not sell the German tests. Nevertheless, I have to go through the process, looking, searching, print the screen, save the screen to a PowerPoint, look a little more, think of every term I can think of, German tests, national tests, ach du lieber, look this all up, prove that I looked, print the screen, save the screen to a PowerPoint so that I can justify that I looked for it. Third step is to go through this pack. The state of Illinois would prefer us to buy from small vendors within the state of Illinois if at all possible and keep our money in the state. That's not always possible. Okay? The American Association of German Teachers is not in here. Nevertheless, I have to look. Again, I peruse categories. Might it be under drafting equipment? Don't think so. Might it be under metalworking machinery? Don't think so. Nothing in there. So I type in the search engine, National German tests, testing, so on and so forth. print the screen, save it to PowerPoint, I've got my justification. By now I've got about 25 pages in PowerPoint proving that I looked and didn't find. At this point, I can finally justify to the state of Illinois, I looked, I tried to find someone within the state of Illinois who would sell me the American Association of German Tests National German Test. And there is nothing. So then I get to fill out a form that says, well, I looked and I didn't find. I know the only place I can get it is here. Please, state of Illinois, allow me to purchase these from the only people from whom I can purchase them. I tried to purchase them here, but I couldn't. And then that waiver is either approved or denied. In that particular case involving the German test, it was approved because the justification was there. Nobody else writes the test. Nobody else sells the tests. So I have to do this now for everything. I have to do this for sheet music. I have to do this for instrument repair, camera repair, for Imsa Tube, for the art department as well. I have to do this for textbooks. I have to do this for office supplies. In other words, anything that we used to buy. Awards for the music, for the band and orchestra people at the end of the year. We used to just go down to Jono's because they were local. We can't just do that anymore. We have to do this due diligence and attempt to purchase either through the state contracts, the Correctional Institute, or small businesses. There's also another component, and that is cost. If we are spending more than $1,000 but less than $10,000, I need to get 3 quotes. So we need to compare. So again, a case of due diligence. It's taking a lot more time to do what we did last year with a whole lot more ease, because last year, it is my understanding, we were considered in the same category as the colleges, the state colleges by the Illinois Board of Higher Education. And now we're classified with the guys who buy the street salt, okay, and the people who have a lot of plumbing issues. My personal theory is that we probably spend more money on facilities and maintenance than we do on the academics, but the reason those facilities exist is because we are a school. And I think many of the things that I'm encountering anyway so far this year, things that I'm looking for our teachers and for the academic side of Imsa, they're not in here. So I'm going through all of this to write a waiver, 90% of the time saying what I need is not available through the sources that the state requires me to look at first.